What's good everyone, Shuret here bringing you guys another one of my discussion videos. The card we're going to be discussing today is Lullaby of Obedience. I say bringing you guys another one of my discussion videos, but I don't really discuss individual cards that much, only on like Balanced Freedom, and that's not really discussion video, it's the Balanced Freedom series. I normally discuss topics as a whole, so this might be a little bit of a change topic for you because I like bringing varied content on my channel, so let's get into discussions. By the way, guys, sorry I haven't been around in a while, just been busy. Not the best excuse. I don't really want to go into what I've been doing and other stuff because it would just waste too much time, and you're here for Yu-Gi-Oh content, not to learn about my life story. So, with the Lullaby of Obedience, if you guys don't know what it does, it says, it probably come up on screen, it'd be on screen, but I'll just read it. You can pay 2,000 life points, declare a card name, then your opponent looks through the deck. If the card is in there, then your opponent chooses to add it to your hand or special summon it to your field. So that's the two options. So most of the time they're probably going to special summon it to your field because some of the cards you're going to take from them probably want to be in your hand anyways because you want to combo off with them, but sometimes they won't even special summon it to your field because it needs to go in your hand. So it's a pretty overall a strong card. Like some people say it has a pretty hefty cost, but in my opinion it's a spell card, and if you guys are willing to pay 1,500 life points for Solemn Strike and 2,000 life points for Solemn Warning, you guys are more than capable of being able to pay 2,000 for Lullaby of Obedience. So it's Lullaby of Obedience has seen some play in the past. It came out in Duelist Pack Rivals with the Pharaoh. It was an ultra rare, the most sought after card in the set because not only was it a good card overall because obviously robbing stuff from your opponent's deck is extremely strong, but it was an anime card that Kaiba used to try to take Yugi's copy of Slifer the Sky Dragon. I remember seeing that the first time in the anime, and I really thought that card was broken. And when Lullaby of Obedience first came out, I was really happy about it. I didn't buy it because I didn't see it as very good at the time it came out. But now going into Link format, I definitely I'm saying going into Link format, but it is basically Link format. It's the 21st of July when I'm recording this. Probably go up on the same day. I just need to edit. Hopefully, I'm not too lazy, and we'll edit it and put it up for you guys today. So yeah, we are in Link format right now, and I definitely think Lullaby of Obedience is going to be much better, and I'll explain that. So I was just the reason I decided to make this video is because I was just flicking through eBay and I saw Lullaby of Obedience there. I think it was like I'm in the UK, so it's like £6.50 or something. I was like, that's pretty cheap to be honest. And then I was just thinking, well, this card hasn't been that good. Like what makes it better now? Is it better? Is it just like one of them odd side deck cards that occasionally get to use, like Skullmeister? But then I was thinking, first of all, I thought best deck this format is definitely True Draco Demise. I don't think Zoo's as good as it was before because of the Link format rules. Don't get me wrong, Zoo are still an amazing deck, but I definitely think True Draco Demise have the edge right now, and Zoo are definitely going to get hit on the next list 100%. In my opinion, they might keep True Draco Demise around for a bit. So being able to rob your opponent's masterpiece is strong. Like even if they special summon it to your field, that's a 2,950 wall, which is pretty strong. If you don't want the masterpiece, you can maybe declare like a Dynamite Majesty Mage and just something to tribute off, because paying 2,000 life points to special summon something to your field to potentially be used for a tribute summon and to be able to take a copy of that card out of your opponent's deck is pretty strong. But that's not really the best use of Lullaby of Obedience, because if you're playing True Draco Demise anyways, you always have access to your cards because you have an amazing draw engine with cards like Card of Demise, Disciples, Heritage, which is basically Super Rejuvenation, Pot of Duality is another good one that they play, even Desires, but not many people like it in the deck. I personally think Desires can go in most decks. But if you rely on a lot of one-offs, then please don't put it in your deck because you guys will cry when you lose them essential cards. Like, for example, if you put in Necros, I personally put in Necros, but that's because I do all my searching beforehand. But Pot of Desires is only good in certain decks, but it is good in a lot of decks because having a +1 is really, really strong, especially in Yu-Gi-Oh! Where one card can turn the whole duel around, as we've seen in the what was it, Nationals, European Nationals, where the guy top deck Regeki and just won from there in the finals. Really good match, actually. The commentators were so hyping that. So, as I've said before, because you have an sorry about that. Because you have an amazing draw engine, you always have access to your cards. So Lullaby of Obedience isn't the best because it can kind of like clash with Pot of Duality as well. But then I was thinking, okay, maybe it's not too good in True Draco Demise, but there's another card which is Gofu, and Konami TCG are so stupid that Gofu is going to be sticking around till mid-September, and Code of the Duelist is released in 4th August. So unless Konami go back on their word and decide to put a ban list out before mid-September, we get to play with triple Gofu for a while, so that's pretty fun. Gofu's broken. Like if you go through like right now, because he's at 3, there's no point of using Lullaby of Obedience for him. But once he goes down to 1, even if when you activate, your opponent's obviously going to special summon it to your field because they don't want to give it in your hand, because then you get 2 tokens. But when you've got a 3 monster and 2, you've got Gofu out of your opponent's deck, and Gofu is such a strong card in Link format because it's a 1-card decode token. A lot of people say you can go into 2 Link Spiders and then go into decode token, but there's another easier way where you can just use the tokens for Proxy Dragon, and then Proxy Dragon plus what do you call it? What's his name? Gofu can turn into Decode Talker. So Gofu is a really strong card. So the fact that you can just take that card out of your opponent's deck is really, really strong in my opinion. And there's, even though it's not the best, like you may only get 1 monster out of it, and obviously 1 monster isn't much for 2,000 life points, but it's just the whole concept of your opponent's lost their Gofu now. You're going to use it for a Link Summon yourself. But obviously that's not that strong. But then I was just thinking, what are other things that this card can be used for? Because this card really has limitless potential. It's only as limited as the format. And unfortunately for Lullaby of Obedience, Link format is really, really like not limited. Like it's a widespread. As we've seen in the OCG, a lot of decks are coming back, and so I personally think once Zodiac get hit or once True Draco Demise gets hit, the best deck, I think what they're going to do is they're going to limit past Masterpiece, limit Diagram, semi-limit Terraforming, just like they did in the OCG, just to leave the deck. Right now, the OCG, people are using the Masterpiece engine, which is 1 Diagram, 2 Terraforming, 1 Masterpiece, and then mixing it with invoked monsters, with the spellbook stuff, and some people put Win Riches in there as well. But most commonly, it's just the invoke stuff with the spellbook cards. Spellbook of Rudra, by the way, everybody's video I called Spellbook of Rudra a secret rare after the Trickster crap, because Trickster Reincarnation is a secret. Hopefully it won't be expensive. I kind of like Tricksters, but I don't want people to because it's not really it's a glass cannon deck. I don't want it to cost so much. So after that crap, I thought that Rudra was going to be a secret rare, but it didn't. So pretty good. So once again, I'll go back on topic now with Lullaby of Obedience. It's alright, I'm sure you guys love listening to my voice. But Lullaby of Obedience. So another thing that people are playing a lot is Brilliant Fusion. And you guys are probably thinking, what, are you going to rob their Garnet? Well, that's one thing you can do. That's pretty funny. Because they either add the Garnet to your hand, which they'll probably do, or they special summon the Garnet. So if they add the Garnet to your hand, who cares? You basically killed their Brilliant Fusion. So that's pretty good. But another thing with it is you can call Scorpio. And in my opinion, the Scorpio, the engine is 3 Lone Fire, 3 Scorpio, 1 Cobra, 1 Garnet, 1 Trick Clown, 1,000 Blades. And that engine is really broken because it can put, for example, it can put a Mrs. Radiant and a Minerva on board just by getting Scorpio plus something to discard, or Lone Fire plus something to discard for the Scorpio. So that's really broken, because being able to go into Mrs. Radiant plus Minerva, or Mrs. Radiant, and then you have your you have your Trick Crown and 1,000 Blades left with Mrs. Radiant to possibly use for a Link Summon as well, in maybe Stargrails or something. But it's not the best deck to put in. Like, it can be used in Cyverse and other decks, and even like these decks that spam my extra deck monsters, like for example Synchro decks, like they can incorporate the Predaplant engine just to like open up their zones, get themselves another normal summon. And you guys know how good Scorpios. So you can call opponents Lone Fire Blossom or an opponent Scorpio. It's actually really good to call a Lone Fire Blossom because you actually deck fin by 3, because you can Lone Fire into Lone Fire. You can take their Lone Fire, normal summon it, then tribute it to summon your 3 Lone Fires, then Scorpio, and then Cobra and stuff. So like that, the Lone Fire Predaplant engine really does deck fin a lot, which is really good because consistency is always a huge thing in Yu-Gi-Oh! So the fact that you can take a Garnet, take a what do you call it, oh god, what's my train of thought? God, a Scorpio, or just like stop them from playing Brilliant Fusion is really strong, because if you guys don't know, Stargrails do really need Brilliant Fusion. And then, but as we all know, Link decks aren't going to be as good as they aren't going to be really good for a while now. They're not. It's going to take like 6-7 months for the good Link decks to come. Just like with Pendulums, there was Cleaforts. Cleaforts came out later on. Like the original Pendulum support was really bad. Time Gazers, Stargazers, as cool as they are, they're not the most they're not the best they're not the best of cards compared to like Necros, and I don't think Necros was the best deck at the beginning of Pendulum format, compared to like Shaddolls and I think Shadow's were around about the best deck until Necros came out. So compared to Shadow's, the Pendulum stuff was bad until like Cleafort's got their full on support in new challenges with Mr. Cleafort Scout pay 800 for life. So link decks will take a while to be good. So this is the way I see the meta. I think the meta is going to go very similar to the OCG. So it's going to start off with up until September, because apparently that's when the next list is going to be Zodiac, True Draco, True Draco Demise, and Zodiac. Like they're gonna stay the best decks, and like Stargrails can maybe make a little bit of an impact. These decks can make a little bit, but because they don't plus as much as True Draco Demise and Zodiac, they're not gonna make the best impact compared to obviously what True Draco are doing right now. And Zodiac taking like 31 out of 32 top spots in YCSs and all that good stuff that we've been enjoying for the past 6 months or however long this bad format's been going on. I seriously have barely played any Yu-Gi-Oh! This format just because playing against Zodiac just makes me want to pull my hair out, seriously. So them decks are going to stay the best, but after that, just like the OCG, I think it's going to turn into Invoke stuff, and ABC, right? And with Invoked, what's the main engine card that you can take with Lullaby of Obedience? Alistair the Invoker. Taking your opponent's Alistair is strong. Even if they special summon it to your field, you don't get the search for it. But what am I trying to say here? But you take an Alistair out of their deck for one, and being able to put that Alistair on board to go into Invoke Kaliga, because in my opinion, Invoke Kaliga is going to be really, really good in Link format, because it's like Winder. Winder is so good because now Link format is more combo heavy, and Winder was always amazing against combo decks, and Invoke Kaliga is basically the same effect as Winder. And one thing I just wanted to mention in this video as well is there's a card called the Book of the Law, which lets you trade out an invoked monster for another one with a different attribute. I really fail to see why people don't play that, even though it's technically a neg one. The fact that you can summon a Kaliga, stop your opponent from doing stuff, the minute they normal summon something to run it over, switch it out for a Raijin or switch it out for a Merkaba is just amazing. I don't know why people don't play that card. It's like flipping a 10 cent card. It's such a cheap card. It's a secret rare. Nobody uses it from Fusion Enforcers. Everybody just cares about Invocation and all that. But in my opinion, the Book of the Law is an amazing card. I guess people don't like going neg one, but in my opinion, it's worth it to summon a Mechaba off of a Kaliga, just like to even stop your opponent even more. And then, as I said as well, ABC decks are going to be good. So taking like a Gadget, taking a Thrasher, taking an A, B, or C piece. Just say not an A, B, C, or piece because they go to your opponent's graveyard. But just taking a Thrasher, a Gadget, just an enabler is going to be really, really strong. So I definitely think that's going to be good. So overall, Lullaby of Obedience, in my opinion, is good in a combo heavy format where a lot of people use the same card, same type of cards. Yeah, another thing is that with what am I trying to say here? The engine that people use, God. I'll remember it after this video, seriously. I really can't remember it, and I'm sorry. I'll probably post it in the comment section if I do remember it. So the fact that Lullaby of Obedience is good in combo-heavy formats is amazing, because Link format's going to be a combo-heavy format. Oh yeah, that's it. The Windwitch engine. Taking an Ice Bell, yeah, because I think if Ice Bell special summon from the deck, she still gets a search effect for Glass Bell, and even if they add it to your hand, you can just special summon it anyways. So the fact that you can use Lullaby of Obedience, take your opponent's Ice Spell and change that into a Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon that can't be destroyed by card effects is really strong. And Blue Eyes is going to be good in Link format, taking an Alternative, taking a Chaos Marks, Ritual decks with the Vendreads, maybe Monjus, Zombie Swans seems pretty viable. Even Zombies by themselves, taking a Shionuri Solitaire. That card's recently spiked in price. I really don't know why that card spiked in price, to be honest, because it's going to get a reprint in the Megatins, in my opinion. And another thing is taking Hand Traps. Maxi is limited, so if you just want to take a Maxi for a Link summon, and that's what I mean, Lullaby of Obedience can technically, there's a card called One-Time Passcode, yeah, and One-Time Passcode says special summon one token Cyverse type, level 1 normal monster. That's all it does. It just special summons a token out. So the way I see it is, if you call a Hand Trap like Ash Blossom, or Huge Forehead as most people know her, a Reaper, because Reaper's good in Link format, because being able to snipe out decode tokens and firewall dragons and Stargrail, World Chalice. I'm gonna keep on calling them Stargrail, seriously. Sack World Chalice, I hate that name so much. But being able to like just declare maxi, because they're not going to add maxi to your hand, they're going to special summon it. So the way I see it is Lullaby of Obedience can essentially just be one card like a monster. You can just trade it for a monster to use for a link summon. So I really think that's going to be pretty strong. So the fact that it has utility like that, where you can just pay 2,000 life points and special summon like a hand trap from your opponent's deck, because they're obviously not going to add it to your hand unless they don't really care about it. But if you declare maxi, you've got that out of your opponent's deck, and what do you call it, and you got a monster for a link summon, so that's pretty good, being able to declare hand traps as well. So I definitely think you guys should consider picking up Lullaby of Obedience. I'm not trying to hype the card. I am a small channel. I'm not gonna have any influence on the market, to be honest. I'm not even in America to hype it as hype up cards as much as other people do. So I'm not taking shots at anybody, by the way. I personally think, like, if people look at YouTubers and say that, oh, they hyped up the card. No, they didn't hype up the card. They said the card's good to pick up, and people knew that, or everybody recognizes YouTubers, so they have an excuse to increase the prices of their card. So it's actually the vendor's fault for getting greedy and increasing the price of the card. I know, I understand supply and demand and all that, but just because of a YouTuber saying something, card prices should not increase. So pick up Lullaby of Obedience. It's really cheap right now. It used to be expensive. It used to be like $10-15 in the US, and then around here it was like £10 or something. I think I got a copy lying around somewhere, a messed up copy. I think it's got water damage or something. But yeah, I might consider buying it. I always say I might consider buying stuff and never really go into it, because I don't really invest too much money into this game. I pay it online a lot, and I do have like a proper Blue Eyes deck and stuff, which I play occasionally. But when it comes to real life dueling, I've kind of backed off of it a little bit. I'm trying to get involved more. I've got a bit of a break from work and stuff, from doing my studying and work and all that. So I might put some more effort into playing the game in real life. So pick up Lullaby of Obedience. Enjoy playing Gofu for an extra month or so. If you guys watched this far, put hashtag Stargrails for life in the comment section. Thank you guys for watching. This has been 17 minutes of Shurit. Peace.